Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. We get ready for the Reverb Experience 2023. It's the third annual one presented by Music TT. And this morning, I have with me the General Manager of Music TT, Melissa Jimenez, the General Manager of Film TT, no stranger to us here, Leslie Ann Wills-Caton, an international Reverb X presenter and panelist. He's also a super agent of producer of creative industries, T-Star, Mr. Fela Oki.
Hi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
All right, let me start with you, Melissa. Tell us a little bit about the Reverb Experience 2023. I mean, tell me why you started doing it in the first place 3 years ago and what we can expect for this one.
So prior to 2021, we actually had Reverb webinars going on.
Right.
So every month, we would have industry experts come and talk about specific topics in a workshop format so that persons could be edified. And of course, this was during pandemic.
Right.
So then we said, okay, I think this has lived its life because we had done 32 episodes at that point. So we're like, okay, let's transform this into something bigger, something that in the future could be revenue generating for the country, et cetera, et cetera. So we started the Reverb Experience Conference in 2021. So at first we were targeting online about 3,000 participants, and we got a whopping 28,000 participants in the first year.
Nice.
Second year we went on to do the same thing, and each year is themed differently in terms of topics. Another whopping 20-something thousand viewers again.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we're out of pandemic now. Round 3, fight.
Right. But were you able to assess where those viewers came from?
Yes, so we had them come from 20 different countries.
Okay.
And usually it's wherever the speakers came from. So yeah,
okay.
because it was virtual, we were able to have speakers from all over the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were pulling from different areas.
And this year's theme is Insync.
Insync, yes.
Why that theme for this year?
Well, it was a play, of course, on the boy band Insync.
No comments.
But Insync, which is spelled INSYNC, so the first day in is investments. The second day we're looking at synchronization, and the third day we're looking at music and film.
All right, let me bring in Leslie Ann Wills-Caton here. Leslie Ann, what is synchronization when it comes to film?
Perfect. So synchronization is really associating a song with an image. So it's like you're watching a film, you put the music within the image. And a lot of times you realize that songs and music it's in sync so well, you don't even realize. I had to, Melissa. And so the beauty of the music in film, it's so important for filmmakers in Trinidad and Tobago to really understand the value of the sync and the process of it. So we're really excited to collaborate in terms of with Music TT regarding the synchronization.
I mean, how does this synchronization, how can it benefit musicians in Trinidad and Tobago? Because we're saying, the possibility does exist, but there is no real framework set up for it here in Trinidad and Tobago as yet. In terms of saying, well, all right, we know how much films we have, how much people making. Every year we see in the film festival, we see a whole heap of films and stuff like that, but we don't see the return on the investment equally. Most times these things cost a lot more than they make. So how do we get to that place where we say in sync and synchronization actually makes financial sense?
And this is the value of the partnership with Music TT in doing this, because a lot of times filmmakers, even when they're doing short films, they'll go online and find royalty-free music. But that's not the best way. Sometimes when you link with a composer, you have a music supervisor, then you can really have the discussion of the right theme and mood and association with your product that will build the audience engagement, that can generate the investment, the return on the investment. And that is the conversation that's missing, and that's why we're collaborating. Come to the workshop as filmmakers, understand the financial value of really knowing what type of music the composers liaise with. Composers get paid, music supervisors get paid, and you really build the industry. We're a musical society.
I want to jump across to Fela. Fela, tell me, what is your role so far in Reverb X? Because I understand you've been helping to build the entire experience.
Oh, thank you for having me. I think for us at Hyphenate Media Partners, it was really about continuing the journey of access, education, knowledge sharing, and community with the Black diaspora, and the Caribbean is important for us. This particular conference, a lot of musicians don't really know the value of sync, as Melissa just said, and filmmakers too. For a musician, if you've got a a particular piece of music. Most people focus on, I've got a tour, I've got to do a live show to make money. But actually sync is the most valuable part of any artist's repertoire that they can make money from without even leaving their studio. But in doing that, they have to be able to collaborate with filmmakers. They have to be able to understand what music supervisors do at the big streamers, at production companies. And that's where if you watch any TV show and you hear a piece of music, that comes through sync.
Yeah.
And for us, it's about just continuing that process of education and partnering and giving musicians in the Caribbean an opportunity.
You mentioned access. How do we help musicians in the Caribbean get access to those international sync deals?
Well, I wouldn't say just by people like myself, but by partnerships like this one between Music TT, Film TT, Hyphenate, my company, and other global companies. And conferences like this are important to expose that to musicians. Education is key. Don't forget, a young musician makes a beat, or a producer makes a beat in his bedroom. And the next phase is always the most difficult because they don't know how to do that. So conferences like this is going to open up that opportunity, having these conversations, giving them the opportunity to say, okay, let's educate you on what you need to do and how you need to progress. And that's what RVRV is trying to do.
All right, so Melissa, let me jump back across to you to ask about some of the specific events and panel discussions that are happening. I mean, I know you mentioned the Insync, but I know you have some events that are coming up over the next few days. It starts on the 5th of July, yeah?
Correct.
Now tell me about some of them that you have coming up.
It's going to be very difficult for me to try and remember all of that off the top of my head.
All right, so let's talk about the one happening at Cafe Blue.
Okay, that is a showcase.
That's the showcase.
Correct.
All right. So who's in the showcase?
So in the showcase, we have 3 showcases at the end of each day. It starts 8 o'clock in the night.
Right.
Cafe Blue is on the Wednesday. Dalai Lama is on Thursday, and Friday is at the Bricks Rooftop.
Okay.
Headlining those days, we have Mikal Taja the first day. Second day is College Durante and Marcus Brave Boy, and then the third day is College Boy Jesse. So,
and these showcases are meant to be able to put some of our talent, our local talent, on display for the international audience that's attending the conference.
Exactly, and all of the talent that would have applied, because we put out a call earlier this year, so all of them would have applied to be there, except the headliners, of course. They were invited, and they all have passes, full access passes, so they're able to come, network, which I've been preaching to them the whole time. I was like, you have these people here, you're always complaining, you don't know how to do this, don't know how to do that. Be in the room, talk to the people on the ground.
And for the people who are looking right now and they want to be a part of the RVRV experience, how can they be a part of it, and how much does it cost?
So you go to RVRVexperience.com, that's RVRVexperience.com.
RVRV with no vowels.
No vowels, yes. We decided to be sexy and snazzy. And it only costs $100 a day, thanks to our sponsors. Only $100 a day.
So you still have season passes available, or we have to buy the individual day
We have
passes?
about 10 season passes available.
Okay.
So that's about it.
And they're available
75
online?
spots, they're all taken up. We
And,
have 10 more.
So what about the online aspect of the experience? Is that still a part of
The
it?
online is free.
Which part are going to learn?
You visit Music TT's website, well, RVRV Experience website to log into
And
that.
we can log into it for absolutely free on the website.
Absolutely
but
free,
you can
but
come
I
down
want
in
you
person.
to come for the networking.
Yeah. That networking part is extremely important. Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you all for joining us this morning. Fela, before I wrap, just quickly, if you had to give a word of advice to a young musician in the industry right now, whether they're contemplating whether or not to come, what would you say to them?
It's very straightforward, man. Just come to RVRV, come physically. Online is great, but come and network. You get to meet, apart from myself, you get to meet people like Solomon Shania, who's worked with Lauryn Hill. He's a seasoned music IP professional. Femi Oyeniran, who's one of the UK's top urban film producers, who uses music a lot in his films, and just people like that, and Al McLean from Empire, and people like that.
Nice.
Just come and network.
Sounds like that list is fantastic and long, and we're going to meet a lot of people if you join the RVRV experience happening this week. So head across to the website and get the information. Ladies and gentlemen, go out there and make a difference today now, because together we aspire, and if together we perspire, then together we definitely can achieve. On behalf of everybody here at the Now Morning Show, Kimberly D'Souza and Rokas, we wish you a fantastic day. Take care.